Two Rivers Talks is brought to you by Two Rivers Biz Starts. Also by Two Rivers Main Street. And by Raleigh Point Economic Advising. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Well, welcome back. Todd had to dash off and take care of some business. So Stephanie Carpenter, who is the assistant director over at the Hamilton Woodtype Museum, is my guest today. And so she only has to put up with me, and then I'm going to say hello to Todd for her.
That
so
sounds good. Please do.
Okay, I will. And we wanted to have you on the show because a little bird told us that there were some big happenings over at the Woodtype Museum, and that's all I know. And I don't know any particulars,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited. And also, I just wanted to mention that it's been almost a year to the day
Yes.
that we were together and did our very first interview with you, and that was over at the museum.
Yeah, a lot has happened in the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us what's been going on and what we can expect.
Cool. I'd be happy to. Thank you for having me back.
Absolutely.
It was very fun the first time. So, and now that Todd's not here, yeah,
No,
girl
we
chat.
can-
No.
Yeah, really.
No, a lot. Okay, the biggest thing that has happened is we have a new executive administrative director.
Oh.
And that's huge for the museum because we are celebrating our 20th anniversary. So we had a full year of events we can talk about. But it was this idea that like we're really excited about what the next 20 years means, you know, and you take it in chunks, 1, 3, 5-year chunks. But so his name is Peter Crabbe, and he moved to Two Rivers. So he lives
Okay,
here in
good.
Two Rivers, yeah, from California.
What part?
Along the coast. He works at a maritime museum
Oh, really?
around LA. So to Two Rivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
My homeboy. I gotta meet him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's good people.
Okay.
So,
Okay, good.
yeah, we'll definitely introduce you.
Okay.
So he is great. He's helping us really look at where the museum's going and what we're doing, and he understands we've got kind of a artistic rock star background, and that we're here to help the community and get people's hands on, and we're excited to have him.
Okay. Fantastic. And when did he come on board?
Let's see. It would have been in October of this year.
Oh, okay.
So he's still getting used to everything. We still meet people in the community. He's still
Okay.
getting into Two Rivers. But
I would love to meet him.
yeah, we're really excited to have him.
This is kind of a culture shock and a weather shock for this guy.
Yes.
You know?
He has lived in the Midwest before, and that was definitely
Okay.
like a question. Like, have you done a winter in the Midwest?
Oh, okay.
And he's done his fair share.
Okay.
So, but I do think we got so cold so early this year
Right.
that I do think it was a little like, whew, yeah.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
but,
We get spoiled out in the. I mean, well, when I first moved here, I didn't even own socks. I had to buy socks.
That's absolutely lovely. I think he has socks. I haven't looked, but yeah, I think
Let
he
me know
is.
if he does.
I
And
will.
I'll hook him up.
Yes. Go to Schrader's and go get some wool socks.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, he it's been really good. Well, he's actually British, so he has a British
Oh,
accent.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but really smart. We're really excited about it.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, you just had Wayzgoose,
Yes.
and I wanted to go, but I was sick at that time.
Oh no. Yeah.
So I wasn't able to check out the festivities.
Yes.
How did it go this year?
It was amazing. So Wayzgoose is our annual conference. We get people from all over the world. This year we had 225 people, give or take,
Oh, wow.
from all over the country. And the conference is to celebrate letterpress printing and graphic design and typography. And it was a great time. Let's see, we had a speaker, Lynn Yoon, who's a type designer.
Okay.
And she talked about creativity and using your hands and why that's so important. And so everybody left that talk just super inspired and ready to go
Good.
make stuff. We had our friends from Hat Show Print, which is down in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
They're a commercial letterpress print shop, and they showed like how you can print with anything. You just bring it onto press and make it a certain height.
Okay.
And so it was a good time of it's being in the museum, exploring two rivers, right? We all went to Rudy's, which we affectionately call Rudy's because the poor D has fallen down. So we had a bowling party and
Really?
yeah.
Did you guys did that last year too,
We
right?
do. People love visiting two rivers.
Okay.
Like, the drinks are cheaper than anywhere else in the U.S.
This is true.
And B, everybody's so nice. So it is a good time. We kind of take over the town for a couple days.
I remember last year, I was meeting people over, it was Two Rivers Pub at the time.
Yeah.
And bringing them over here and just opening up the gallery. So, so it was, I met some really, really cool people from out of town.
Yeah.
And everyone just seemed to have a blast.
Yeah, we kind of dub it the family reunion of letterpress printers. We've had it 11 years now, and I know. And there are people. There's at least 10 people who've come to all 11
Really?
years. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then we get the newbies, which are just as fun because they get introduced to the area and they get introduced to Hamilton, and we can share the history. The fun thing, it's really a celebration of Hamilton just as much as it's a celebration of letterpress.
Right.
So we can tell people what we did over the last year and what we plan to do and kind of share the celebration.
Okay.
Which is good.
And did the number of people who showed up, was that kind of did you break any records with that, or is that a
It's
fairly
a good
typical
number. Yeah, we try
Okay.
to get around 250.
Okay.
So we have quite a few speakers, so 20 speakers and 20 volunteers, and you get all the hands coming together to make it happen. So that's, we get 225, we're happy
I
campers.
think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and we get locals as well as people from far away. So that
Okay.
is the other thing. Is there's been a really wonderful groundswell locally of people saying like you saying well, I want to see what Wayzgoose is all about, which is really exciting.
And I do. And in 2020, I plan on being there
Yeah.
because I was really disappointed.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that that you had a successful event. So, and what else happened this past year?
The 20th anniversary. So we had an open house that we did, which was really good. We have an open house every year, so mark your calendars. 2020 in the summertime we'll have another open house. So we had an open house. We along with that I know I love how I'm and then I love my job. We got to partner with a really amazing woman from Chicago. Her name is Jen Farrell, and she runs Star Shaped Press. And so we have the world's largest collection of wood type, and we have dubbed her, I don't think it's on her business card,
Okay.
but the Queen of Metal Type.
Okay.
So the really tiny metal type.
All right.
She makes these beautiful, ornate, gorgeous pieces of art. And she's our visiting artist. The program is every 3 years we get a different visiting artist, and each one brings something different.
Okay.
So her first project, it was her first year as our visiting artist, and so she comes up and she makes a project, and her project was, and this is so lovely, it's called Ham at 20. So ham at 20.
Like pig ham?
Like Hamilton ham,
Oh,
like
okay.
the ham fam,
Okay.
ham, I know.
I'm picturing dinner.
One of the prints is just a giant slab of ham.
Really?
Which is
Okay.
amazing. It's shorthand when you're in the family.
Okay.
You can call it ham.
Oh, that's funny.
We don't, but
But you could.
We do now. So Ham at 20 is it's so lovely. It's a celebration of letterpress printing, and she did the legwork. I need to props to Jennifer. So she got it's more than 28 artists, but it's 28 prints, and each one says Ham at 20. That way you didn't have to set as much type.
Okay.
No. Ham at 20, and it has to have wood type on it, and each person, right? Even though we're all letterpress printers, each person does their art form differently.
Right.
And some people involved their community, and some people they just worked on it themselves. But it was to celebrate letterpress printing and Hamilton being 20 years old.
Okay.
And so there were only 50 of each print done.
Okay.
There are 25 limited edition in the store for sale. They're on display at Hamilton right now in the gallery.
I'll have to check that out tonight.
It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going for an ink
Right.
And then there's portfolios, and this is really exciting. We've never done a project like this, where institutions and libraries can get the full portfolio of this work, because it shows a breadth of what can be done with wood type. by many different artists throughout the U.S.
It's amazing because I knew nothing about letterpress
Yeah.
at all, and I've learned since I've met you, and I've been hanging out more
Yes.
over at the museum.
Yeah.
I guess I'm in the ham fam.
You're in the ham
Okay.
yes.
But this past year, I went to one of your events where there was a silent auction. No. What was it? It was all
Oh, we had like a-
international work.
Yeah, New Impressions. It's a show
New
we
Impressions,
do.
okay.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And you could buy work. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was the first
Yeah.
time that because you had a lot of people's work up, and that was international
Mhm.
from all over the world.
Yeah.
And you would think that things are going to look very, very similar because of the type of art that it is.
Yes.
You know, you're all working with a press. But it was so impressive to see how different everybody's work was. And it kind of just dawned on me that,
Yeah.
you know, you can get creative and you can personalize it.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's going to do things differently.
Yes.
Somebody might have a real heavy hand with the ink.
Yep.
Somebody else might be like, you know, they really hold back and don't want to overdo it.
Yep.
And that was cool. Well, and I ended up getting the bagpipes.
You did.
Yes.
Yeah, we only had 5, and they sold out very quickly.
I love the bag.
Yes.
Well, it's back in my office.
That's cool.
I love
Yeah. Corey is the artist who did that from Nashville, and he did like a non-traditional technique, and I do think that's what's really fun is it's very easy to think you work at a wood type museum. It was, you know, the company was founded in 1880, that it's all old, and there's this huge community of letterpress printers, and we all go about it in a slightly different way, and so yeah, it's all different, which I find very interesting.
It's an interesting process.
Yes.
It's kind of like when we had Spit and Image, our portrait challenge here, and the artists they had 4 hours to complete a portrait, which
Yes.
is a huge undertaking.
Yes.
And for me to be able to walk around and watch everyone's and how different the techniques are,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing with what you do.
It is.
Because when you think about it, when you first hear about it, it just sounds it doesn't sound like it would be a real vibrant medium.
Yeah.
But
Because
it
there's a
is.
history to it,
Yeah.
and there's tradition to it, and I think that's a really good point, is that it can seem stodgy from the outside. And that's why we started to do drinking inks.
Okay.
So the event you're coming to, which is your second one.
Yes, it
That's
is.
awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you're coming back. You know, it's so we've always done, for at least the last 10 years, we've done these full day letterpress printing workshops, and that's really great because it gives you time and you can relax and you can like sink into it. And if you've done it before, it's very, you know, you can get into it. And if you haven't done it before, it's a nice introduction. But it's been 2 years ago. These ink and drinks, they're 3 hours on Friday night. You know, you bring your own wine or beer, and it's, if you've never done it before, you can try it out.
I had a panic attack.
Was it figuring out what you were gonna print, or just it's so new?
Oh no, I knew exactly. I had my quote.
Yes.
And I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and you guys were also helpful. Because like Jen Ann was there,
Yeah.
and Jim,
Yep.
and you, and it was like, you know, to give me pointers and help with just setting the type. That was a piece of cake.
Yes.
You know, when it came time to start putting the ink on it, and I was actually going to put paper in the press,
Yes.
I had to go outside and calm down because I was so afraid I was going to screw it up.
And you didn't.
No, and the thing is, if you screw it up, you do it again.
That's exactly
You
right.
know?
Yes. It is a reproduction method. So
Yeah.
if one gets a little funky, you just put that one to the side.
Yeah.
No one ever has to see it.
Oh,
Yeah, you just make
but it was
another
weird,
one.
you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I do.
I was
yes.
like, I was verklempt.
I was verklempt. Throw in a little German there.
But you know what? I love the way, and I took a picture of the press once I had set all the type.
Yeah.
I love the image of just the type.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite photos.
Yes.
You know, and
Yeah.
all, of course everything's backwards, and you kind of have to figure out what it is that it's saying.
Yes.
But just the block lettering itself is so beautiful. Old pieces of wood, they've been used. They've had so many different colors of ink soak into them,
Yeah.
and just a beautiful, beautiful image.
Well, back to that tradition, there's like a history with every block. Like every block has a story, and it's been dropped or
Right.
it sat in a case for 25 years, and it's like you're not sitting behind your computer.
Right.
You know, you're getting some ink under your fingernails, and you're feeling the type. Like a type,
Yeah.
you could have an E that's as big as your head.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. I think that's a lovely idea that you can hold a letter form.
So for tonight,
Yes,
now this is your holiday,
it is.
your holiday event.
Yes.
What have you got in store for us?
So we went into the archives
Okay.
and we pulled out, of course, the best vintage Santas you've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. And Christmas trees and holly wreaths and
Oh, wow.
it's some good stuff. So lots of cuts because they would have been used, in a newspaper or
Right.
in a card. But so we'll have some smaller paper. You can do Christmas cards.
Oh, wow.
But the thing we also love about December workshops is you could make a gift for someone. So it doesn't have to. You don't have to print Christmas things. You could make like last week somebody did Farm Sweet Farm. Which
Oh,
I thought was
really?
lovely.
Okay.
Because they farm, or that they live on a
Alright.
farm, and that's important to them. And so you can do something that's unique that nobody else has. I think that's the fun one. You can make a gift for someone
Okay.
that they're not gonna find in any store anywhere.
I think that is so cool. My goal for this evening is to make something, and hopefully it turns out, frame it, put it in the window here at Basil's because we have our holiday window
Yes.
display.
Yeah.
But I just thought that would just add a little extra something to it.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes. So you'll
I'm
have plenty
excited
of
about
holiday
that.
to pull from. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's all the vintage.
Oh, it
all
is.
I love the
Naturally vintage.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. The wine is chilling right now.
That's good to hear.
I'm also bringing coffee just to
a little pick me up.
pick me off the press.
Yes.
Who was it? Oh, it was Bill
Yes.
Turk. Yeah, if he ever showed up for an ink and drink, we'd have to pull him off the press and make sure we got all the wood type off of his back.
Yes.
But so now that little bird I was telling you about, and I can't
Yes.
remember the name of the little bird. I just remember it was a little bird. Said that there's some big things happening, with your museum. So,
Yeah.
so you have the new director.
New director, so one of the really great things about him is that we're also looking at how we interact in the community. Not that we didn't think about that before, but it's a really wonderful way for us to have fresh eyes and
Okay.
say, so one of the things we've never done before, we've done lots of partnering with the Leicester Public Library, but we're now going to host 2 of their teen nights.
Really?
Which I think is awesome.
That is cool.
Art is hands-on, letterpress printing is totally doable by everyone of every age. And so, so we're going to have a couple teen nights there, and we're working with them at Leicester to make that happen. We're expanding, I love this, we're doing Crafternoons,
Oh, wow.
which is a new program. And so it's this idea, ink and drinks, were this fun, try it out, maybe have a beer or wine while you do it. We're going to do in January and February, they're shorter workshops.
Okay.
And they might be printing, it might be bookmaking, it's a couple different things.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
a short workshop, so same idea, 3 or 4 hours,
Okay.
an affordable price. And for those people who just need to get out of their house on a snowy afternoon,
Right.
they can come to a Crafternoon at the museum.
Who came up with Crafternoon? Did you really?
Well, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the inventor of it, but
Oh, I think you might be. I've never heard that before.
Well, thank you. No, I'm gonna get sued very quickly. No, I just think it's a fun. Who doesn't want to participate in a Crafternoon?
I love
Yeah,
it.
so I think it'll be fun.
That's really cool, and I really like the idea of you partnering with the Leicester Public Library to do
Yes.
stuff with the teens.
Yes, I know.
That is way cool.
We've always done tours for kids of all ages. I mean, K through 12, college. College is still kids.
Right.
And so this is a really dedicated way to make sure that that everybody gets to get ink.
That's fantastic. Now, when is going to be your very first?
In January.
Oh, that is
And
January.
January, and then in February. So we're doing a middle school night and a high school
Oh,
night.
really?
Yeah, which I think is really exciting. So that way,
That's going to open a lot of eyes for these kids, and it'll be
Yeah.
really inspiring because it is fun.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really is, and you know, in a very short period of time, you actually there's a little bit of instant gratification because you do end up with an end product that is, you know, it's like I made this.
Yes.
You know.
It is.
So
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, make sure you take a lot of pictures and then
course.
share them with us.
We will. Yeah.
You know, and then we'll do like a little montage.
Yeah. That'd be great.
So I hear you got a new press.
We do have a new press. It's a giant, big new press. So one of the things at the museum is you could come. We have the world's largest collection of type, and we have presses. We have the whole way that type can be made. But let's see, going on 3 years ago, we got these giant blocks, and we have one press that can print them.
Okay.
So we thought, oh, we need another one. We need another giant press. So now we have, let's see, it's Campbell's Country Press, and so
Okay.
it's big, and we're in the process of getting it working. But it's going to be able to print these blocks. They're called one-sheeters, and they were used to advertise, you know, if the rodeo was coming to town or the circus was going to be around.
Okay.
And there's nothing else like it that you can find locally.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting.
I love the big type that you have.
Yes.
You know, because you have some on display.
Yeah.
And I think it was for like some circus posters.
Yeah.
And those are pieces of work or pieces of
Yes.
art in their own right.
Yes.
You know, just the carving and and I've always wondered how do you even manage something like that? Because like when we do the ink and drink, you know, the type that you have it ranges from fairly small to, you know, relatively large.
Yes.
But we're talking massive.
We are.
So, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm just, do you have, where are you going to be putting
So
this press? Because it sounds like it would have to be humongous.
it is big. It's very big. When you come into the museum, you go up a ramp, and the big room, like we call it the museum proper, opens up to you, and it is right when you walk in.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah. It's a beauty. It tells one of the reasons we wanted it was it tells a story that we couldn't tell before.
Okay.
Because when you talked, like this was used to print newspapers, and so it was a really important part for us to say, like, well, yes, we have these smaller scale presses, but this opens up, the whole new opens up, we can print more, and we can tell the story of how printing was done. So it's
Okay.
really nice, it's history and contemporary.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the press is from what, like the early 1900s?
Yeah, 1895,
Oh.
so yes, I know.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
And Jim picked that up, or he went and he got it. And
Yeah.
is it here already?
It is here.
It is.
They've worked on it.
Okay.
They're making sure it's cranking. So there's still some work to do on it. You know,
Okay.
we're talking about something from then. A little bit of elbow grease needs to go into it.
Oh, I bet.
Yes.
Well, they made things to last back then
They
too.
did.
So,
Yeah.
so is it on the floor right now?
It is.
So
Yeah.
I'll be
You
able
can
to
come see
that?
it. You
Okay.
can come see it tonight. Yeah. And actually, you talked about kind of the carving. The carvings are interesting. The prints are interesting. In January, February, and March, we're going to have on display in our gallery space pieces from the Inquirer collection and Globe collection, which are collections within the museum.
The National Enquirer?
No,
Oh.
nothing quite so salacious.
Because the Globe is another rag too.
Yes, I know.
Oh, we're
Yes.
talking proper newspapers.
Proper newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah, proper poster printers from
Okay.
the early 1900s. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
expecting this print of like a Fat Liz. Or, you know,
So,
something
well,
like
okay,
that.
but we do it's not the National Enquirer, but the Inquirer Printing Company from Ohio is where we got this collection, which was 5 semi-loads of stuff.
Good Lord.
We have original Ripley's Believe It or Not blocks
That's
and
neat.
prints. So we have mermaids and
Okay.
let's see, the armless knife thrower and Popeye. I mean, we've got goods. And so in January, February, March, you can see more that has not been on display yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So
See, I would love to see
yeah,
that.
it's gonna be good. And that's to think of like that's in Two Rivers. You know,
Yeah.
you don't think I'm gonna go to Two Rivers and I'm gonna see a mermaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of an
Yes.
armless knife
Knife
thrower.
thrower. The poster's amazing. Yes.
Yes.
It's good.
Oh, well, was there anything else that you wanted to tell us?
I'm gonna look at my cheat sheet because
Okay,
I'm gonna
please.
be honest. Like, there's a lot.
Okay.
Because we're so busy, there's a lot happening. Let's see. Yep. Oh, you know what I forgot?
What?
We have new
Oh,
merch.
yeah.
I know. I absolutely love this scarf. I get to help design and pick out the new merch that we get in the store, and it's really fun because we look at old Hamilton Company things,
Okay.
and then we also design new things. So we have T-shirts and mugs, and we've never had scarves before, so I feel
love
very in love with it. And we thought, well, people are probably holiday shopping. And if you're in Two Rivers, we're going to have a sale December 23rd. It's a Monday.
Okay.
10% off in store.
Okay.
Now, that's a really nice, like, if you're around, you think it's the 23rd.
Right.
Oh, I don't have that gift for so-and-so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the husband.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do they need? So we, and it, like I said, like we have lots of prints, and so we have prints about football, and prints about reading. The nice thing is, sometimes I think like, oh, it's just all letterpress prints, but they have to be about something.
Right.
So we always print things that, we have ones that are Two Rivers themed, and we have ones that, I think that's the fun thing is, we always have something that, they're different.
But there's like something for everybody.
That's it.
For,
Yes.
well, you have so much at your fingertips to work with
Yes.
that you're able to do that and to offer so many different subjects.
Yes.
And but I gotta tell you that scarf, because you showed it
Yeah.
to me when you first got it,
Yes.
and the quality is really really good and
Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
So you designed it, and then the
Yeah.
company they
Made
ran
it.
with it and they did a
Yes.
fantastic job.
Yeah, it's really good. It says Hamilton wood type on it.
I love it,
Yeah, it's really
and
cool.
I like the colors too.
Thanks, yeah, little neutrals, that way it goes with everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so those are on sale
Yep, everything in the
or
store.
for sale.
They're for sale, but everything will be on sale 10% off. There's
Okay.
no
How much are the scarves?
I want to say 30.
Okay,
Yeah, so then you get 10% off. But 30 is not that bad.
for that
For
scarf?
a super nice scarf,
No, that's
stay warm.
it's
Yeah.
definitely worth it.
Yeah, and it has like what we did was we pulled decorations from the collection. That's what's so fun is like we have patches that say Hamilton on it from like the sign, the blue sign that used to be over on the Hamilton factory, and so it looks like you work at Hamilton. So we have
Okay.
patches, so we pull from like the Hamilton history as well as from the letterpress portion. So I think that's the fun thing is there's lots of inspiration.
Okay,
that we can kind of-
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, nice job on designing
Well,
that.
thank you so much.
So, and
That's my list.
that's it?
I'm sure there's plenty I'm missing. You'll have to have me on again.
Okay, absolutely.
But we're really excited. You know, it's a little quiet right now because it's winter, but all that means is we're prepping for when it's not. And we have people from all over the country who like follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. So we're always kind of sharing the Hamilton story, through you and through what we do. So there's definitely no lack of things to do.
Well, and after such a busy year too, I mean, you guys need a little bit of an opportunity to just breathe and regroup.
Yeah.
And like you said, figure out, the direction that you want to go.
Yeah.
And well, congratulations on having the new director.
Yeah, thank you.
And hopefully I'll meet him soon. Is he coming to the Ink and Drink tonight?
I don't think so. We'll have to get him to stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give him some of your wine.
Okay. It's a big bottle.
You can share. You can be friendly. That's how you make friends, right?
I didn't put in my order this time.
Yes.
But anyway, so Stephanie is also going to be our, we'll put the spotlight on Stephanie for her artwork for our How's It Hanging portion. So we will be right back with Stephanie Carpenter, and we'll be looking at her own personal artwork. So stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Carpenter. I'm the Assistant Director at the Hamilton Woodtype and Printing Museum, and I'm also a letterpress printer in my own right. So I work at the museum because I really love the history and the hands-on nature that letterpress printing allows. And the work that I do really explores how we use language, how we talk to each other, and I really love to explore color. And so the work I have on display here in the gallery is a couple of my pieces from, it's called Kinship Patterns, And I made the work actually for a show that was at the Hamilton Museum earlier this year. And it was this conversation I wanted to have because my husband and I, David Carpenter, moved here 8 years ago from Indiana. And we found a lovely community that accepted us, and we felt really at home in the Two Rivers area. And so with this work, I wanted to explore how we talk about belonging, how we talk about family, how we talk a lot about being, kinship and coming together. And so that's what the work that's here on display is about. And it's all letterpress printed, so every letter is hand set and brought together. I mix all my inks. I really like exploring color. And I like this idea that we can talk about how we're all part of like one group and one community. I also have pieces on display that the more colorful ones that don't include letter forms are printed with a process where I actually bring piano rolls, like vintage pianos that have the scrolls where they play themselves. I bring those up to what's called type high. I hand ink every one, and then I print them through an old style press. And those pieces are one of a kind. I can't reproduce them. Like each one is a different piano scroll roll and a different color and a different layout. I quite like them because they start to look like landscapes, and they start to look like cityscapes, and they start to look like fields, and they start to look like Lake Michigan. And so that's what I really love about those, is they're more abstract than my letterpress work that kind of tells a story. And I think each person who views the art can kind of really see into it what they like. And so I really like being able to make both kinds of pieces because it tells a different story. So I mentioned my husband, and we really love showing here at the gallery because we're very different artists. So while I do printmaking, David Carpenter is my husband, and he's a painter, and he paints in oils, and he paints in a very, very traditional manner. And so he does still lives and figurative work, and the pieces that are on display here are some that are Trompe-l'œil style. So there's cupcakes and there's cannolis, and these things look like you could reach out and touch them, like you want to eat them. And so it's really nice because he can show kind of his more traditional figures as well as these like wonderful like still life pieces. And so we're really happy to help share kind of our process and what we do.